Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's topic is mastermind groups. Now, for those of you who have read my book, The Perils of Real Estate Scam Alert, I explain why you should join a mastermind group. However, this time, I don't want to just focus on joining a mastermind group because that's really not enough. You'll get more benefits from it and it'll be more effective in your real estate pursuits if you actually participate in the group. With me, one of the first things I had to do when I realized the wealth of knowledge that I obtained by attending just 3 sessions, really I realized it from the first session, was that I am going to eventually have to make a commitment to attend as many meetings as possible, if not every meeting that they have in a year, because I wanted to progress to go from point A to point B, which means, of course, there would be some time that I might have to sacrifice because you see, I don't work a regular shift, I work the overnight shift, which is already a bit taxing on the body. But I changed my thinking as far as it being a sacrifice to it being this is going to be time that is well spent. And then after, I would say, a number of years went by, I realized that although I was growing in knowledge, I was missing something else because many people were progressing. I saw many people teamed up and they were able to buy property that I never thought that I'd be able to buy at the age that I was. I figured I'd probably have to make X amount of money and do a number of things before realizing the dream of what these people were already doing. So what I started to do is I started to reach out to other people. And that's something that I would like to advise all of you who join mastermind groups to do. Don't just go attend and then when it's over, walk out and leave. No, try and meet the members before and after the meeting starts. Now, let's say you're a person who's shy and you suffer some sort of anxiety. One of the things that you should do, and to be honest, you should do this even if you're not shy or anxious, pump yourself up. List all the things that you can do. If you're spiritual, list all the things that God has done for you and for others that you know. Have some scriptures in you. Commit them to memory, those scriptures that make you feel good, that put you in a positive mode. Have those in memory. Quotes you can get from Facebook. They don't even have to be spiritual. Facebook and Instagram, there's normally a quote that I normally see that, turns my morning around, that makes me feel wonderful. Get one or two quotes. You don't have to memorize every single one, just one or two that just puts you on the good foot, if you will. And also it helps when you have a song. Why? Because for some reason, when words rhyme, they stick in your head a little bit better and longer. And it sets the atmosphere for what your day is going to be like. So that's one of the first things I did before, approaching or going to any of the meetings. The next thing I did was I sort of wrote a little pitch for myself. Basically, going back to pumping yourself up, I listed what it is that I can do, what it is I know that I can do that may be benefit to other people. And then I use that in introducing myself when I run around to the different members of my group. Next, after I had that little pitch. It only has to be 2 minutes long. It does not have to be an hour. You don't need to tell them your life story. Okay, just say, my name is Lily. I'm in real estate. I own X amount of properties. This is the strategy I'm using right now, and I'm interested in doing this in the future. So then I turned it around and I asked them about themselves. I asked them, how long have they been in the group? How long have they been investing in real estate? What strategy were they using? What problems they were facing? Now that is a very important one, because that really allows them to take over the conversation, and you really can sort of get into their head, if you will, and you can find out from that question whether or not you can help them or not. You might not necessarily be able to help them personally, but you might know somebody that can, and you can refer that person to them. And they'll look at you as a resource, which is actually a positive. Now, listen, don't feel that you have to get along with everybody. You do not have to. It is perfectly normal and okay for you not to necessarily click with one or two people or more in your particular group. I don't know how many people will be in the mastermind group that you choose to join. Just basically focus on who you do click with and learn from each other. Be vulnerable with the people who you feel the most comfortable with, because in your vulnerability, you can see they'll be able to, first of all, help you out better than if you put up this front. Some of us that are from the hood, we're told to be strong, to be bold, to be this, that, and the third. And we're told that vulnerability is a weakness. But in a mastermind group, you want to reveal your weakness. You don't have to reveal your weakness to everybody. And the weakness that you want to reveal doesn't have to be a deep, dark, personal, rooted weakness, just something on the business level, so that they know where to meet you as far as helping you when you have an issue. Now, when you're meeting people and you're collecting names and phone numbers and what have you, I don't really care for business cards, to be quite honest with you, even though it's good to always have them around. But what you want to do is you want to put their name and numbers in your phone, and you want to categorize it. See, I'm a person that's not always good with names, but I'm pretty decent with faces. So what I do is I put the names, phone numbers, email, all of that, but I categorize it, and I'll say, my mastermind group, excuse me, my throat. Then in the notes area, I might go and say what strategy it is that they use. And I might even make extra notes relating to real estate about that particular person. So that's basically has helped me. And many of you, now you've heard that your network determines your net worth. But this is only true to a certain extent. You see, the fortune is actually in the follow-up. A lot of times we'll go to different meetings, mastermind groups, what have you, but we don't follow up with the person. And when you don't follow up with people, you really don't get the benefit of growing your net worth, so to speak. And listen, net worth is not just money, even though, yes, it does affect your bank account to a certain degree, but it also affects your knowledge base. And that, to a certain degree, is, in my opinion, is more important than your bank account. But that's my opinion. And anyway, moving on. The other thing that I did that I know has helped me is when you offer your skills to the group or to particular members in the group that need it. For example, I am a little tech savvy. There are still a lot of things in technology that I'm not familiar with, even though I have an MIS degree. It's somewhat dated. But I know Microsoft Word, I know PowerPoint, Excel. I know your basic Microsoft packages. I know how to code. And as far as social media is concerned, I can create a Facebook page and I can put posts up on them. The leader of my group, now he's a computer engineer. He was building computers, but when it comes to the software, that's not his strong point. Plus, he doesn't really have time to go and, update members on what's going on. So, I spoke to him several times and he agreed. He made me moderator of the group. So that's basically what I do from time to time myself. And there's one other guy. We are moderators of our mastermind group. Whatever real estate information that was shared in the class, I try to put it up there. Or if there's an article, I'll share that with the group so that they are aware of it. Another thing, one of the people in the group who became my friend, she had a car. Our leader, he does not have a car. He wanted to invest in another city, and he was going to go and take the train for like 3 hours and then transfer to the bus in order to get to a particular place. So what she did is she offered him a ride up there in her car. Well, it turns out not only was she a blessing to him, but he became a even more blessing to her, because a lot of the things that we talked about in class, she learned it. A lot of the things that she learned while being with him for that day, she did not learn all those years that she was in class with him. And one of those things is going to the city planning office, the community boards, and speaking to district leaders to find out what are the hot spots in the city. Now you could say, oh, well, she could have spoke to a realtor. No. First of all, some realtors are not honest, unfortunately. And I do mention that in my book, The Perils of Real Estate Scam Alert. Plus, many of them specialize in just one particular neighborhood, not the whole city, and definitely not the whole entire state. So going to the city planning office, knowing that there is such a thing, the community boards, district leaders, that was something that was a benefit to her. Plus, she also said that she wouldn't have known like what questions to ask. And by being with him, doing this favor with him, she learned that by just staying with him for that whole entire day. So I also want to say this to you as well. Okay, you may not be technically inclined. Okay, you may not know how to drive. There must be some other skill that you can definitely contribute. Clerical, negotiating, navigating, organizing, event planning, cooking even. All of these skills are important and can contribute to a mastermind group, whether it's real estate related or not, because you do have some mastermind groups that are not real estate related, but it's just like strictly for entrepreneurs. Take those skills and apply them as best as you can to the group, because even if it's just for one day, it doesn't even have to be permanent. Even if it's just one day, you'll just be shocked at what extra information that you will learn to perfect your strategy when it comes to investing or just doing business in general. Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention is this: masterminds are great resources for accountability partners. And with the accountability partner, they basically keep you in check to make sure that you accomplish the goals that you set out. From doing that, you can find out what are the motives, the strengths, and the weaknesses of the other accountability partners in your group. And then lastly, one of the benefits of being in a mastermind group, I have not had this experience personally, but I've seen it within my group, is that people have partnered up and they have bought buildings that, I didn't think, in my mind was like, unachievable because they're so expensive. But they were able to get together, pull their resources together, pull sometimes their money, sometimes other people's money, and go out and do joint ventures. And many of them, especially today, several of the members in my mastermind group, they no longer work a 9 to 5 job. They only work for themselves, just doing real estate investing. So, again, these things that I've mentioned, in order to get the full benefit, these are some of the things that I suggest you do. Please note, don't rush it. Take your time with it. Eventually, I believe in God. So in God's time, where you are supposed to be or where you want to be will happen for you. But it'll happen faster if you are in a mastermind group and if you participate. Well, folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully, the information that I've shared will help you make smarter financial moves. Remember, feel free to pass this along. Each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.